Welcome to a new episode of TTG Conversations 5 Questions video series. I'm Karen New, Group Editor of TTG Asia Media. In this episode, we will look at the tourism impact of music concerts and festivals. And taking us through this topic is Laura Houldsworth, Managing Director for Asia Pacific at Booking.com. Hello, Laura, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Karen. Thanks for having me.
Now, I've got 5 questions for you, and this is the first. Now, back in January, when South Korean band BTS announced its world tour dates, Booking.com recorded an immediate and sharp increase in searches for destinations and dates on the circuit. What were the numbers then, and how does travel interest for BTS concerts look now, since the first show is fast approaching on April 9th in Goyang, South Korea?
Yeah, it's always super interesting to see when these exciting dates get announced, and within hours we saw huge spikes, particularly for the Kaoshiung one in Taiwan, but from worldwide travelers, and we saw almost a 7,000% increase year over year on searches for this destination, which shows how travelers or the fans move very quickly from excitement to actually they're planning their trips. We also see, in South Korea, Goyang and Busan, double the amount of searches for Busan and 10 times search for Kaohsiung, which also shows kind of the fan pilgrimage. The travelers are looking to go to their destinations. So it's been really interesting to see, but it also shows, interestingly, the travelers that we've seen for these particular searches have been worldwide travelers. So not just the regional travelers. Top searches coming from the UAE, for example, Turkey, from South Africa. So really interesting to see the reach of these bands and how far people will travel to when they're big fans.
And we saw how powerful concert tourism can be, when big acts like Taylor Swift and Blackpink and Coldplay descended on the destination, and they brought with them fans from all over the world. Now, what factors do you think must be in place for concerts to truly contribute significantly to the host destination?
Yeah, I think over the years we see whenever sold out concerts happen, there's a remarkable demand on travel, not just on accommodation, but also on flights, on local attractions. So it's really important that those local destinations, tourism ecosystem really works together to make sure that they capitalize on that effect. And you mentioned some of the big ones. We saw it, the Swift effect in Singapore last year or the year before, and how huge that is, and that halo effect on the destination. And we see, as long as those are connected, travelers are going particularly for the concert, but they want to have that local experience as well. We know that while it's the major draw, that also in our travel trends, we're seeing top factors that drive destinations. So safety still remains the number one factor for travelers, and then followed by value for money, beautiful nature, so that local experience as well. So it's really important that, the destination capitalize on this opportunity, and all of the ecosystem does.
Are music festivals and regional acts, just as impactful in combining fan travel? Can you share some of Booking.com's observations on such impacts of other forms of concerts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, concerts certainly remain the number one, or music festivals, and tours also remain the kind of number one factor for travel, followed closely by cultural events and sporting events. And a good example would be Tomorrowland announcement in Thailand. The searches for Pattaya were 13% jump just for the Pattaya destination when the Tomorrowland was announced. And we know that Thailand themselves are looking at $1 billion tourism boost to the economy over the next 5 years by debuting this festival. So it's really very important for a destination to be able to offer these type of events. Sporting events also, we see huge spikes in searches for Shanghai, Suzuka, for the F1, Melbourne also. Of course, Singapore also drives a lot of demand there. Also, we're seeing it into the US right now with the preparations for the FIFA World Cup. So people will really travel for an experience, and we're seeing that across the board. But certainly music, concerts, festivals are driving the majority of that.
What does Booking.com usually do in the lead up to major concerts to stimulate travel? Can you talk about the sort of marketing activations that have been most useful in getting consumers to book?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, partners are obviously the foundation of our business, and they provide the amazing experience once travelers are there, for millions of travelers all around the world. But we also know that the partners themselves, they set the prices, they work on the demand, the surge demand. So we want to make sure that they have the flexibility, that they're able to control their cancellation policies. We try and provide those dates wherever we have them up front. Sometimes we're all caught a bit by surprise on when the dates get announced, but certainly enabling that flexibility and then supporting the accommodation partners with what they're looking for. So maybe certain destinations that they want to target, different source markets. So search engine marketing we do to try and bring travelers from all around the world. We also do advertising, and of course we have our Genius loyalty program where we can target certain types of travelers for our accommodation providers. Our partners also have access to obviously our extranet, our partner hub, where we also try and give them real-time analytics for demand and searches, so they can also capitalize on these opportunities when they come around.
Right. All these tools and support sounds really familiar, but are there new things that travel and tourism partners can do with Booking.com to stimulate fan travel?
I think working closely together is super important to make sure that, we see the opportunities, that we can also align dates to make sure that the availability is there. Sometimes, as I mentioned, we get caught off guard with dates, but making sure our partners are provided with as much information as possible, and then that flexibility and really turning those moments into real value for the partners as well as obviously for the travelers. We actually did a campaign, quite topical actually, on the BTS where we started the conversation in South Korea, where we did a K-pop experience where we actually launched a full experience for a couple of lucky travelers that were able to book this true experience with K-pop star Kang Daniel. So we're able to also stimulate some of this demand and support fans and what they're looking for. So it's a super exciting time when we think about these opportunities for fans to travel around the world to get these amazing experiences.
Wonderful. And that's all the questions I have for you, Laura. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Karen, for having me.
Past and future episodes of TTG Conversations 5 Questions can be found on the TTG YouTube channel. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.